My next guest covered a story about a Calgary Realtor who was running a Ponzi scheme. So I wanted to chat with her to find out a little bit more about this story. Courtney Zwicker is from realestatemagazine.ca. Courtney, welcome to the show.
Oh, hi. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks so much. So tell us, how did this story come across your desk, first of all?
Sure. So on May 8th, the Calgary Police Service released a statement that they had charged a 43-year-old man named Eric Drinkwater with fraud in connection to a multi-million-dollar real estate investment scam that had started in 2020 and is believed to have lasted until 2024. Real Estate Magazine covered that on the day that release came out from the police.
Jeez.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Fast forward 2 weeks, and one of Drinkwater's alleged victims reached out to us and said, listen, there are a lot of important things happening here that the public should be aware of. And this alleged victim sent me court documents, contact information for other victims, and he pointed me to the fact that on May 22nd, last Thursday, Drinkwater would be appearing before a disciplinary panel of the Real Estate Council of Alberta, and that he would be answering to the allegations of misconduct in his role as a realtor. So that hearing allowed me to get a real 360 view of his crimes and help me understand a little bit better what happened.
Jeez. So this Ponzi scheme had 71 victims. How was he able to continue doing this for so long?
Okay, so that's a very good question. So essentially, as new investors were brought in, their money was being used to pay back earlier investors. That's essentially the definition of a Ponzi scheme. It could theoretically go on forever as long as new investors are coming in.
And so at what point did the new investors stop coming in so that I guess it threw his plans off the rails?
Sure. So I'll tell you a little bit about how the scheme worked. And this is according to an agreed statement of facts presented at the disciplinary hearing last Thursday. So Drinkwater would contact folks in his circle, in his capacity as a realtor, including past clients and other colleagues who are also real estate agents, in addition to members of the public. And he would tell them that he had an investment opportunity for them. He would tell them that he had clients who were buying property and couldn't afford to close on them because the funds required to complete the transactions were tied up in equity in their existing property. He was telling people that his clients needed bridge financing. And bridge financing is totally legitimate. People use it all the time when they're in between selling their home and buying a new one. But typically it's obtained by a traditional lender, such as a bank. So Drinkwater would tell these potential investors that his clients couldn't obtain bridge financing from a traditional bank for any number of reasons. The premise was that the investors, through Drinkwater, would provide capital to finance the bridge loans, and the investors were promised that their money would be returned to them with significant interest, essentially. Now, we did learn in the disciplinary hearing that none of the money invested, $3.5 million, none of it was ever used for real estate transactions. So when the victims started not getting their money back on time, when Mr. Drinkwater started missing deadlines, his investor clients started getting suspicious and began making calls to the police and the Real Estate Council of Alberta. And that is when things started getting a little more complicated for Mr. Drinkwater, and that's essentially when things were put to an end.
Jeez.
But it took 4 years to get to that point.
Oh my God. And so was there a ruling this week in terms of, is he losing his license over this?
Okay, so that's a good question. The disciplinary panel of the Real Estate Council of Alberta did not make a decision on Thursday. It could be 90 days up to 90 days before their decision is made public. However, a lawyer for the Real Estate Council of Alberta, in his remarks during the hearing, he said that a lifetime ban of his license is certainly on the table. So I think there are a lot of people who are anticipating that the sanctioning against him will be quite harsh, given that, according to the lawyer who spoke for the Real Estate Council of Alberta, this case is unprecedented in the province of Alberta. So it's nothing like they've ever seen before. So certainly you would think that the punishment would match the crime here.
Absolutely. Now, will these people ever get their money back?
Okay, so some victims have already been successful. In March, there was a ruling in a civil judgment in Alberta for 4 victims who received a total of about $3.5 million for funds that were advanced to the fraudulent scheme and punitive damages of about $1 million. So 4 of the victims are made whole, essentially, or they should be. There's another group of victims who are hoping that the criminal case against Drinkwater will find him guilty so that they can have a chance of applying to a fund that is controlled by the Real Estate Council of Alberta that is set aside to pay out victims in the event that an instance like this occurs. This is a group of people who, for whatever reason, did not go the civil route. That could be because maybe they didn't want to pay a lawyer to do that. Maybe they felt like, for whatever reason, they just didn't have it in them to go that route. So there is a group of people who is relying on a guilty criminal conviction
in order to get their money back. Courtney, we've run out of time, but it's a fascinating story. I think we'll definitely try to keep following this, and please keep me up to date with any new developments. I'd be curious to hear what happens.
Oh, I certainly will. Thank you so much for giving me a chance to talk about this.
No problem. That was Courtney Zwicker from the realestatemagazine.ca. You can check out their story online about Eric Drinkwater and the Ponzi scheme that he was committing.